And Diptyque Laurent joins us in the studios to take a look at what's making headlines around the world. Hello, Diptyque.
Hi, Annette.
And we're going to start with Pakistan, where campaigning has just ended ahead of tomorrow's key election.
That's right. That election pits really three men against each other. You have Imran Khan, the former cricketer, Pakistan Muslim League leader Shahbaz Sharif, who's the brother of the former Prime Minister Nawaz Sharif, and Bilawal Bhutto Zardari, who's the son of the late Benazir Bhutto. So three very strong candidates there. You see them on the front of the Pakistani Daily Dawn, which says that it's shaping up to be a tight race. A lot of undecideds, though, as voters are mulling their options. It's also on the front page of the British daily, The Independent, focusing more on Imran Khan, who they say is banging the drum for change in Pakistan, and by the by, hoping to end his 20-year-old electoral losing streak.
And this election is also notable for its representation of minorities.
Well, we found an article from Pink News, which is a website focused on LGBTQ news. They report that this election will feature 5 transgender women candidates. And it's interesting because Pakistan is full of paradoxes. Homosexuality is illegal, but it has guaranteed basic rights for transgender citizens and even recognizes a third gender. Now, one of those candidates has a pretty harrowing story. She talks about being a survivor of an acid attack, having left home, forced to leave home at 13, being physically and sexually assaulted by relatives. Now, she says that the candidates are hoping to get local or national representation and then really fight the thorny issues in Pakistani society like honour killings.
And moving on to the UK now, and a debate is raging there over the possible extradition to the United States of 2 British men who also happen to be Islamic State group members.
These 2 men, Alexander Koti and El Shafi El Sheikh, were captured in Syria last January by US-backed troops, and they're part of a so-called ISIS Beatles group, a name given for their accents, a group of 4 men responsible for kidnapping Westerners and also responsible for beheadings. Now, ever since the UK has captured them, or ever since they've been captured, the UK has been embroiled in what the Eye calls a death penalty row, really focused on how and where they should face justice. Well, the government has said now that it is considering extraditing them to the US. And the reason this is so controversial is because it could overturn a decades-old policy in the UK of refusing to extradite citizens to countries where there is the death penalty. Hence this headline from Metro, No Mercy.
And it's really dividing the opinion pages, isn't it?
It is. We're seeing really different opinions from both the Conservative and Liberal press in the UK. The Independent, for instance, is vehemently opposed to extraditing the pair to the US, saying despite what they've done, extraditing them to a country where they could possibly face a death penalty makes a, quote, mockery of our commitment to human rights, and that it makes us complicit in the state-sponsored murder of IS fighters or fighters for the Islamic State group. On the flip side, the Conservative Daily Telegraph says it's a practical choice. The UK needs to find a country that will allow a fair trial and has statutory basis to hear evidence that's not admissible in the UK. The US is the best option and would help bring justice for the victims and also soothe public expectations.
Now, here in France, the Tour de France is making pages of the sports daily L'Equipe, but it's not about the cycling, is it, Diptyque?
No, it's not about the cycling. Rather, it's about this row that has sort of erupted between the British Team Sky and the race organisers. Now, this is really to do with their star cyclist, Chris Froome. There was a cloud hanging over him this year after a urine sample showed a higher concentration than allowed of an asthma drug. Now, Froome was only told about 5 days before the Tour de France started that he could actually take part in it. And as a result, for fans, they accuse him of doping, and he's endured being spat at, shoved, and taunted while racing during the Tour de France. And the Daily Mail reports that Team Sky's boss, David Brailsford, has blasted this behavior as, I quote, a French thing, a French cultural thing, really. He even said he wondered how the French football team would have felt if they had endured the same insults at the World Cup. No response from the French yet.
Ouch, that's all I'm going to say. And finally from you, Luke Skywalker, or rather Mark Hamill, the actor, appears to have played a prank on all of us at Comic-Con over the weekend.
You'll have to bear with me because this story can get a little confusing. Basically, on the weekend, Comic-Con fans were treated to this site that you can see on the San Diego Union Tribune website. A man dressed as Orange Vader, an orange-haired Donald Trump-esque golf-playing Darth Vader character. Now, it seemed like the perfect disguise for Mark Hamill, who is a vocal Trump critic, and he had been teasing the internet about going undercover at Comic-Con, a huge pop culture event. Well, the San Diego Union Tribune has confirmed, sadly though, it wasn't Mark Hamill in disguise. It's possible that he may have come to Comic-Con disguised as something else, like a stormtrooper, but really we're not even sure if he even made it to Comic-Con. It seems like the joke is on us.
Okay, and that's one for all the geeks out there, no doubt. Thanks for that, Dipti. And if you want to take a look at the stories that Dipti has been referring to, you can, of course, head to our website, thatbeingfrance24.com.